Last week, I talked about a new study that showed that American conservatives hate science. They distrust all of science, even those fields that ostensibly support their own worldview. Today, I would like to talk specifically about one of those fields, ecology and conservation. I know that many people might be surprised to hear that conservatives should like ecology and conservation. I grew up with Captain Planet, where a diverse team of teenagers have special rings that give them the power to save the environment. And today that does seem super liberal. I mean, this one kid's power is heart, for fuck's sake. But I also grew up in a very rural area where the farmland was vast and hunting and fishing were such popular pastimes that sometimes school would be canceled because deer season opened up on a weekday. And so by necessity, the conservative population of mostly poorer white people kind of had to care about the environment. If people poached out of season, then there would be fewer trophies for everyone else. If a company dumped pollutants into the water, we couldn't safely eat the catfish and the blue crabs that we took out of the creek. And so back in the 80s and early 90s, conservation wasn't considered directly oppositional to conservatism, at least not everywhere. But big oil and other large industry lobbies were already hard at work to convince these hunters and fishers and farmers to vote against their interests by spreading the lie that anthropogenic climate change is a myth and that it's actually authoritarianism for the government to protect our land, air, and waterways from multi-million-dollar corporations. So here we are now in 2025. Republicans control every branch of the U.S. government, perhaps to an extent beyond anything we've ever seen in the history of this nation, considering the additional powers that the Supreme Court and Congress have handed over to Trump's executive branch. And in the next few weeks, this Republican administration is going to destroy the agency protecting our air and water with far-reaching negative effects. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, has existed in one form or another since 1807, when Thomas Jefferson established the Survey of the Coast as the country's first and for a long time only scientific agency. Several agencies were eventually combined under the official title of NOAA in 1970 for better protection of life and property from natural hazards, for a better understanding of the total environment, and for exploration and development leading to the intelligent use of our marine resources, as proposed by Richard Nixon. Because, again, back then, this was an obvious bipartisan issue that clearly benefited everyone. Today, NOAA is one of the most prominent, one of the most important bastions of Earth science research in the entire world. I can't even sit here and list everything they do. I'd be here all week, but it includes observing and gathering data on our coasts and the oceans, the climate and the weather, providing that data to scientists for research purposes, as well as providing it to the general public, particularly warning the general public about the potential dangers of hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, algae blooms. They help protect endangered species and monitor our fisheries to be sure populations remain healthy and safe to eat, just to name a few things. If you'd like to know what they've done to improve your neighborhood lately, they have an interactive map that allows you to see some of their projects. For instance, near me, there's a wonderful spot for fishing that was devastated by invasive algae. So NOAA came in and cleaned it up and educated people to let them know how to safely dispose of their bait in order to keep the algae from coming back. If you're interested, run over and check out that map right now because it probably won't be there for long. As I mentioned previously, Project 2025 has called for NOAA to be destroyed, and so Trump has dutifully complied with his religious right masters. In the past few months, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has fired 1,300 people, which is about 10% of NOAA's total workforce. Many of those people were rehired and then fired again because efficiency. A few weeks ago, insiders managed to leak Trump's plans to go on to completely wipe out every scientific endeavor currently underway at the organization by eliminating the Oceanic and Atmospheric Research Office. NOAA will be completely dismantled, and it would take the U.S. back to the 1950s in technical and scientific skill, as put by Craig McLean, chief scientist at NOAA. One anonymous NOAA veteran who took an early retirement told The Guardian, "We can look at other countries that are actively making these mistakes, where they have air that's not breathable and water that's not drinkable. I think it's done. I think this is done. The enemies are in the gate. I don't see any indication so far of anyone stopping it. They're just letting it burn. I honestly don't understand how U.S. science will recover." Another NOAA veteran said that he resigned because the organization defied a collective bargaining agreement by forcing him to move from Montana to Seattle with 1 week of notice. As I noted last year, unionizing was the last desperate attempt scientists had to protect themselves from a possible second Trump administration, and they've just decided to violate that bargaining agreement because not only are there anti-science fascists in the government, but Congress and the courts are either moving too slowly or not doing anything at all to stop them from shitting all over every last protection we have. The Guardian also notes that Brighton Shang, one of the Dogue children who flew to California to try to open up a water pump during the LA wildfires, has been made a senior advisor to the NOAA administrator. So yeah, that's super cool. Is that one Big Balls? It's like a boy band. I can't keep them all straight. I've referenced the destruction of NOAA in other videos as Trump is taking away our ability to know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, but it truly is so much more than that. Like, do you like salmon? I mean, eating them, sure, but even just knowing that this critical part of our ecosystem remains in place. Well, NOAA is the primary organization that gives Native American tribes the money that they need to fix the overfishing that white people did for the past century. And without that money, the Pacific salmon is fucked. Do you like having access to goods made overseas? Well, it's not just the tariffs that are going to be making them more expensive. As ProPublica notes, NOAA's climate and weather data is what keeps those ships from sinking. Do you like local produce? NOAA's climate and weather data allows farmers to set their planting schedules for the best chance of a successful harvest. Hey, conservatives, do you like fucking war? NOAA's data is used to plan strikes and keep Navy ships from sinking. These cuts are going to be devastating, and it looks like it's happening in the coming weeks. I usually try to end these videos with a little tip on how, you can do things to improve the situation. And I do think it's still worthwhile to call your Congress critters and yell at them, if for no other reason than to, release some of your own anxiety. But I also usually suggest going out and building community. So with that in mind, I'll share a thing that I'm doing, which is setting up a weather station. Yeah, I know it's not going to save the Pacific salmon, but it is kind of cool that there is a network of weather nerds out there that are continuing to gather data like temperature, sunlight, precipitation amounts, air quality, and then making that data freely available. A lot of you have said that you're too introverted to go out and build connections with your neighbors. So I think this is actually a really good option for you. You get to learn some technical skills. You crunch as much data as you want. You help out your neighbors, and you don't even need to leave your backyard. So that's something. Go have fun. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.